Attenzione, iniziando il Joe and Brian Show.
Brian, we only attract Inter fans to this channel. I think you would agree on that. Why is that the case?
I actually disagree. I don't know of every single one of our fans being an Inter fan. I'm
Not at
sure
all.
some of them
The
come here
uber
just to
majority.
ridicule Inter, I'd like to think. You know what I mean?
And
I'd
the
like to
fact that they're
believe
not
there's
doing it in the
haters.
comments. They're not doing it.
Well,
You need to show
Like
your
I
hate.
said, hey. Us Milan fans, rational people, we wait till after the game to talk. Because clearly, like this week, if we do it before, we're going to look like fucking dumbasses.
Sure, weren't you guys just top of the table? By the way, it's really nice being up here. Feels great. It doesn't feel great. It actually feels really shaky. This league is tight this year. Let me tell you something. Like, typically, there's like this infamous Serie A stat. We've all heard it 1,000 times. But the best defense always wins the Scudetto. Well, that has been true probably every year in the history of this league, except for this year where Roma are not going to win. Their defense is so good right now. They've conceded the fewest goals, but they can't score. And this is so unlike Gasperini. Like, what the hell's happening?
So let's talk about this Roma-Como game. Hey, editor Brian here. So basically, nothing happened in this Roma game except Roma failed to score a lot, and then Como sat there and just looked pretty the whole time, doing absolutely nothing. So if you were looking for some like in-depth analysis on this game, look elsewhere.
All right, Bri. Atalanta started this season initially very promising. They're undefeated, blah, blah, blah. Their fraudulent coach got found out. No surprise. They bring in Palladino, who I very much like. And I think he should have stayed at Fiorentina because clearly they're shit. We'll get to them in a minute. But Atalanta are recovering their form from a terrible start. Scamacca with a brace today. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel that West Ham could have been really good with him in their team if he never got injured. But I digress because this just means Scamacca's finding his form again and Atalanta are going to be scary. But then when they sacked Juric, I was like, oh, they're going to have to restart that whole process. Nope, Palladino came in here quick with it. And I got to say, I'm really impressed. And now going forward, going to be a little bit more scared of coming up against Atalanta because now I know, okay, they got a good manager, they got the squad working, and I just know Charles De Ketelaere is going to score against Milan somehow. So it's just, I'm prepared for the worst.
I mean, this is quintessential Atalanta. You're beating Genoa 4-0, then you somehow lose 3-1 to Verona, then you go and beat Chelsea 2-1, and then now Cagliari. And they're playing Genoa next. There is points to be made up. I think Atalanta have already sold themselves away from Champions League this season. That is far too gone. They might be able to recover for Europa League or just have a really good Champions League run. But it kind of feels like a dead season unless they win a Copa or something, you know? They still haven't won a Coppa Italia. There's room to play. Brian, you woke up at 6:30 a.m. to watch your team draw. Tell me about that.
I wouldn't even say like I woke up. It was more so I was awoken by God's presence himself. I don't know. It just something awoke in me from my deep sleep and said, wake the fuck up, Milan are playing. And it was just magically 6:30 on the dot. And then I immediately fell asleep again. So I missed the first half, all right? I missed out on the Bartasaghi goals. And so, or at least the first one. And let me tell you, I don't want Stupinian back in this team anymore. A Bartasaghi brace. Bartasaghi brace. I mean, this is good for Italy, so you should be happy. But this guy, he can low-key attack. And, like, he's got the mentality. The mentality. Because Stupinian doesn't have that. He's actually stupid. It doesn't make sense how he made it into Milan. Allegri has created something good at Milan, and I'm happy. But I'm not thrilled because we should be squashing Sassuolo. Thank Christ Berardi didn't play because he probably would have put 8 past us for some reason.
I mean, you guys do not have a great record against them, historically.
I just don't know. I guess it's just the Sassuolo curse. It's just
They beat us too all the time. Don't get me wrong. Like, as an Inter fan, they terrorized the Milanese. I mean, Sassuolo have no fans, which is nice, but that's it.
I just didn't like how we got robbed of 2 goals as well. Like, they went to VAR, they go check inside of Ruben Loftus-Cheek's butt. Sassuolo paid the refs. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying the long roundabout way of saying Sassuolo paid the refs this week, and I feel hard done by. Well, we're talking about the top of Serie A. Let's switch it all the way down to the bottom of Serie A and talk about how Fiorentina are still without a win, coming up against Hellas Verona, who we both said we're probably going to get relegated this year.
Brian, Fiorentina suck. They suck so bad. And honestly, I could trace this all the way back down to I think one event, and I think it was the death of Joe Barone. Since then, I mean, granted they were mid-season at that point, and they finished well, but that club has been run so shambolically. Their sporting director, they re-signed their coach, then they sack him a week later, then they sacked the sporting director who sacked him. I'm like, what are you people doing? It's a shit show. And then someone had the brilliant idea of appointing Pioli. I somehow got convinced of it. And then they figured that, Roberto fucking Piccoli is the ideal striker at Fiorentina. Like, the whole thing is fucked up. They haven't won a single game unless it's Conference League. But then again, you're playing against a war-torn country. Congratulations on your win. I mean, it's crazy.
I agree with you completely. I mean, look, Fiorentina need direction. They need something moving forward. And that Pioli appointment was the complete opposite. They probably cost them, I don't know, the next 5 years. But gift Orban with 2. I knew it.
I told you to keep an eye out on this guy. Oh, who's
Yep. You pointed him out. We saw him play a few games. And I was like, oh, this guy is actually a problem. And then I saw this lineup. And I was like, this guy is going to put it. He's going to do it to him.
Off the bench, which is most impressive.
I mean, you low-key convinced me that Fiorentina were actually going to win this game. Didn't happen. Not surprised, honestly.
I'm running the propaganda. Someone's gotta.
I don't see. This is bad. I don't see a Fiorentina win in the near future. This is really bad.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I think something needs to be said about Verona. I hate them. They sell all their best players every year, and they have a terrible fan base, and they're just not a great club to support. But they have some of the best scouting in the league. Like, they find these gems, they pay nothing for them, and then they sell them. It's genius. So I look at that squad, I'm like, I would take some of those players, but I think they're better than relegation. Clearly, some relegation team is getting saved this season because of Fiorentina, so you can go ahead and thank them. Serie B is terrible. You do not want to be there. This is the fall of a Serie A giant, and it's sad.
Napoli dropped points.
This is big. This is big for us, Brian. I'm happy.
I am thrilled. Well, actually, I'm not. I'm content. It would have been better if Milan won and continued to stay atop. But Napoli dropping points again. I still think it's their Scudetto, but the longer we push it, the better, I think.
Yeah, and listen, there is still some small miracle they can go on in Champions League, and if that does happen, the more tired they'll be, the injuries will rack up. It's not looking great, but kudos to Udinese. Zaniolo played a great game, deserved a goal, was robbed of one, probably rightfully so, but he played well. Good to see him coming back. Even their coach, I believe, said after that he deserves a spot on the national team, so we'll see. I'm not saying I want Zaniolo back at the Azzurri, but I don't hate it.
Let's talk about this golazo, this fucking Puskas goal. How do you say this guy's name?
Nkelekan.
Well, I would have never got that. I would have been Ekelekin. He scored whatever. He scored a Puskas goal. I turned this game on and I just see him rip it straight out of FIFA. I was like, ooh. This guy's got something about him.
You know, he's great. He's great. Seems like a really good player. I believe he scored against Napoli last year as well. I could be wrong, but
the only other player I want to highlight from Udine is Keenan Davis, the English guy.
Yeah, he's been
I remember he's been here for a little bit, and he's really making Serie A home. I remember when he was, I think it was one of them blue and burgundy clubs, Aston Villa or Burnley.
Watford.
No, he was like a reserve player, and then I was like, oh, he might break into like a first team eventually, you know what I mean? And then he just left, and I was like, I wonder if he'll ever succeed in Serie A. He's finding it with an assist today for the winning goal.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this isn't so uncommon at Udinese. I can't remember any off the top of my head, but it's not totally uncommon to see players interchange between them and Watford, so not a total surprise to me.
Nah, I don't even want to give you a second more than I have to. This is your moment. Take it. Boo-hoo. You're top of the league. Give it to me. This is your one moment.
Listen, I can't even banter too hard. We barely won this game. Like, it was a little shaky. Inter played 2 halves. Well, Inter really played 1 half and then forgot how to play the second half. We dominated at first. I mean, there was a little bit of buildup happening. Bisek gets an opportunity to shoot pretty far out. He rips it with his left foot for some reason. Just like, you gotta love that about Inter players. Just never where they should be, formationally speaking. Sneaks it in past the alley. So that was a great goal. Lautaro Martinez missed an absolute sitter. Not happy about that. But he got revenge and got another goal. Genoa, I don't know how. But Bastoni, I'm starting to ask questions. He played pretty good overall, but like, I'm having question marks. You know, he's becoming responsible for more and more fouls here and there. But yeah, Genoa tested us a bit. It wasn't an easy game, but I'm happy with the 3 points. But you know what? We're still not winning big games. Obviously, you have to beat these small teams. You know, some teams can't beat small teams like Sassuolo. But we're trying our best here. We'll see what happens.
Spalletti's in the race. You can't tell me that Juve aren't actually in this race.
No, I don't think they are. I think they're hanging out. I think they're overperforming, but yeah, no.
No, this Roma are ahead of them, but they aren't real mentality monsters. They're not actually gonna get there.
Their next game is
Juve-
Roma. Let's speak on it then. And then we'll see.
Yeah, you're right. But Juve, they manage. They always manage. They always find a way. It doesn't matter how many points you find them, how many transfer bans you give them. They'll pay whoever they gotta pay to get it done.
Yeah, they will. I mean, this game, though, it was a little hard done on Bologna, truthfully, but like they didn't really create enough to justify a goal. So I think this is a fair result. I can't really bitch at them too much. And like I said, Juve's kind of low in the table, so I don't care what they do down there. It doesn't concern me.
I saw a little something from this Juve team that made me a little worried, thinking about what Spalletti really is cooking up. But
Well, Bremer's back. He didn't play yet,
yeah.
but he is back. And that...
Oh, no, Bremer came back. He played a little bit.
Oh, he did play today. Yeah. See, that's
Yeah.
good. That's good for Juve because they've been rocking with Lloyd Kelly back there at center back. Oh my God. And Coop Miners at left center back. Like it's not a great defense. So maybe they can get something going now that they have 2 functional center backs.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think something's really about to happen here with this Juve team. I think the strikers are gonna finally start to work together, and then we're gonna have Juve out of nowhere fighting for the Scudetto when Inter and Napoli are both tired of shit. They just come in and sneak in. Well, that's Serie for you. Just a bunch of bullshit every day. Just a little different. But with that, I think that ends this episode of the Joe and Brian Show.
It does, but Brian, I believe actually we have a special announcement from one of our regular listeners.
Thank you for watching the Joe and Brian Show, the only show for the most discerning football fan. Only intelligent football fans watch the Joe and Brian Show. Like and subscribe.